We are talking episode 1 and 2 of the new Apple TV show, Lucky, right here on Popcorn and Root Beer. Let's get into it. All right, welcome everybody to another episode of Popcorn and Root Beer. I am your host, Steve, and joining me today are the Heart people, the Heart Foundation, if you will. Well, because you're not the Heart Men, because
I'm not a man.
Yeah. And based on Brian's horror movie track record, it feels like a stretch. It feels stretchy. We're not here to talk about horror movies. We're here to talk about Lucky and Apple TV's newest, I would say, hit. I think it's going well.
Yeah.
So far. Episodes 1 and 2 dropped late last night. We had recorded a podcast, and all of us immediately jumped off the podcast to prepare for this one. So thank you both so much for being willing to be crazy with me and watching all this stuff and consuming all of this. And thank you to all our listeners and viewers, new and old. If you are new here, please, if you would, like, subscribe, share to the whole channel. Make sure that you show some love. Make sure you jump along in the comments here and let us know your thoughts on Lucky so far. Before we get any deeper into this, though, I do want to say spoiler alert going forward, because we are talking all things Lucky, episode 1 and 2. So now that that's out of the way and I don't feel bad anymore, Alyssa, what were your thoughts early on?
Well, I've got pages of notes that I took in that. You know, this show, like when you jump in, you jump right in. And I don't think that when you're giving us a new show, do not give me just one episode. I need 2. If we would have just got episode 1 last night, I would have been so disappointed, thoroughly hooked, waiting for week 2. But I'm glad that we got to start off with 2 and just to be able to jump into this show and what it's going to be.
Yeah, I thought that was such a smart thing to do, to like, there's like the hook, and then it just digs you in a little bit deeper. So now you've invested like 2 hours of your time into it. It's like, well, now I have to watch the rest of it, right?
And you're like, is she really lucky? That's not just her name. Like, is her luck going to run out?
Yeah, there's a lot of questions about this. Brian, what were you thinking when you sit down on the couch, you're watching it? And I mean, to me, this was like where good writing and great direction meet. And this is the result, right?
Oh, man. Maybe not. I do have a little Debbie Downerness to bring to this, but I'm going to save it. Just in part because right off the bat, I was gripped. I was grabbed. Like, I think we were like 5-ish minutes behind you, Steve. So like you dropped a message just shortly into the show, like, oh, this is going to be great. And like Alyssa and I are sitting there, I'm like, I wonder, is this the scene? Is this the scene? All right, what is it? Is it a culmination? So like, yeah, it has you, and it's fast paced. It's gripping. It has you going. I watched the first episode last night and the second episode today, and damn it if I'm not glad why I had that second episode, because a lot of shows are really good. That first one, they'll leave you on that cliffhanger, that big call to action, like, whoo, all right, a lot just happened there. We're set up so well for, like, this is what we're getting into. And I need a little bit more. Make sure that I'm coming back each and every week. Give me something a little bit more to remember. So that second episode really dug it in. We got past the boyfriend, the husband. I don't actually remember if we got clarity on that defined relationship, but either way,
and Gary?
Yeah.
Is it her husband?
Yeah.
Okay, they are actually married. Okay, cool. But like, just
I missed that. How do we know that?
I think they say it a few times.
Dang. Yeah. Oh, a few times. Okay. Shoot.
Come on, Alyssa.
I was busy taking notes.
It's not a huge detail. I mean, regardless, boyfriend, husband, he ditches her, right? I mean, that's the premise of the show is, and I have it written down right here. When a multi-million-dollar heist goes sideways, con artist Lucky, played by Anya Taylor-Joy, is forced to go on the run, pursued by both the FBI and a ruthless crime boss. So the story opens with Lucky and her husband, Carrie, celebrating what seems to be a successful heist. They steal $10 million and then plan to flee the country. Lucky wakes up, and Carrie's gone. Her husband's gone. Took the cash, took off. Drugged her the night before, essentially like roofied his wife, and took off with the money.
Can we talk about too how like the movie was essentially, it was The Hangover there, we get to go have fun in Vegas. We're going to go up to the roof and somebody gets roofied. Like, come on. I could not help but laugh at, like, she's walking around. I thought there was going to be a tiger in the bathroom as she's walking through that hotel room there at the beginning.
The trashed hotel room. Yeah. I wonder if that was like a purposeful like homage, but it's like, oh, this is like what more likely would happen if you get roofied in Vegas. You wake up and you like, it's not hilarity ensues. It's more like just pure panic. And then of course, you're a criminal on top of it.
Yes. Okay. So when you texted us last night that this is so good or this is going to be so good.
Yeah.
Was that at the scene when she wakes up hungover and she's putting together that he left her?
I think it was, I was watching when she went downstairs and the FBI was waiting outside. They're pulling in the FBI. So Billy, like Agent Billy, who I love already. Like,
oh, she is sharp. Oh, yeah, I love that because I hate a stupid
dumb cop.
Yeah, don't give me that. If you work for the FBI, show me that you got the skills, you've got the credentials.
Yeah, it does. There is a little bit of tropiness to this show, which I think all shows have. You have to hit some of it. And it hits one of my favorite ones where it's like, damn it, you have to let this go. Like the chief of police, or in this case, like the deputy director of the FBI is like, you got to let this one go. And she's like, I can't.
Yeah.
It's the one guy I couldn't catch. And it's like, I love it. Like it's that one. And then like, this is my last job. And then of course you die. That is always fun. So here's the cast that we get. We get Anya Taylor-Joy as Lucky. Annette Bening plays Pricilla Masterson, the mob boss.
Yeah.
Love that.
So love she's Annette good. Bening. She's good.
Clifton Collins Jr. as Dutch. Killer.
Freaky.
Yeah,
like I'd be terrified. I would have walked my ass back in the hotel as well if he was outside waiting for me.
Anjanou Ellis-Taylor as Agent Billy Rand, and Timothy Oliphant as John, Lucky's father.
Yeah.
Which, still, good to look at, Timothy Oliphant.
He's aged really well.
Very
even
well.
Better to look. Like when you see his IMDb photo, I'm like, no. Give me the gray hair.
Yeah.
Give me that silver fox.
Very well. Okay. Very well.
Like prison's looking good on you, sir.
They cast this show very well because he's so charming.
Mm-hmm.
And like you buy like he's this con artist, right? Like
it rings well.
Yeah, it rings really well. Yeah. And then I do want to throw a little love to episode 2. We got a surprise appearance from a beloved actor in my world because I love the TED TV show, and Alana Ubach.
Yes.
Love her in everything. Loved her in Waiting. I loved her in Meet the Fockers. I love her in TED. Love her in everything. I think she's hilarious and fantastic.
Yeah.
I didn't see Euphoria. I have never watched it.
What?
No. Yeah.
Something
probably too young.
Not you.
Because it came out so long ago.
Yeah, no, it was never like on my list. So
she did great acting in, okay, not to jump to like episode 2, but the scenes where Lucky is giving her like her sob story and her response after losing her daughter. I felt like her acting was so believable. Like it wasn't cheesy, it wasn't corny. The one person I do not like that they cast in his role is the guy from Outer Banks who plays Carrie. Opening scene,
Drew Starkey.
He and Lucky, they don't look like a couple. I don't know. They look like
Drew
siblings.
Starkey, I think, has a lot of that problem. I think he has that problem a lot. I don't know if he's great chemistry. Good to look at, but he's not. Yeah.
It feels like you're from Outer Banks and you're still trying to prove yourself that you can handle like a heist or whatever.
Something more than a teen drama from Netflix. Yeah.
And you know what? I mean, clearly the show is not leaning on him at the moment, right? Like they've kind of been like, where is he? That's the big question is, where is Carrie?
Yeah.
Is he dead? Yeah. Is he alive? Yeah. Did he run off? Did he get snatched? I do appreciate some of that because there is where Steve, like you kind of talked about, there's a lot of the writing I like. There's a lot of writing I don't like. Like already we see her as Lucky. She's the star of the show. She's not getting caught, but already we've seen her escape out of great escapes. They've been fun, but I don't find myself watching wondering, oh my God, is she going to get caught? It's more like how is she going to get out of this? And it's like the lighter scene in the gas station. I called it so quick. Like at this point, you're tracking this stuff, looking for those foreshadowing moments of like, how is she going to get out of this? And at a certain point, it kind of dries up that thrill that you get.
I don't think they're trying to make you question whether or not she's going to get out of it. I think the big question of this show is, how out of control is she actually? And how helpless and sweet is she actually? I think she's a lot more dangerous than she is letting on, because she does keep getting out of these things, like in very extreme and sometimes very violent ways. Like she was being strangled on the ground and stabbed the guy through the skull with a screwdriver. You know what I mean? And she's able to lie and manipulate, and she does this while being like, I seem like, she acts like she feels bad, but then continues to do these things that I'm like, she might be darker than we're prepared for.
Yeah, I mean, she's the only daughter of a criminal mastermind. Like all the flashbacks of when she's younger, like waking up in the hotel, her dad being like, we got to go. When they pull the heist and she's like, how'd you know that he was going to believe you or that was going to work? There's so many things that like we're starting to see. And I'm hoping we get more of those flashbacks to paint like the picture of how did she become this? Because John set this up.
Yes.
So he does play very charismatic, like calm, cool, collected. But when Pricilla comes to visit him, and then when she doesn't answer that last phone call, you see him break a little bit. Like you see that worry in his eye. Like I did this. Like I'm locked up. She's free. And just I'm can't wait to see just what comes of that.
What makes me really question whether or not her like little victim act is real is she went to that house with that woman with her grandchildren and immediately went to she kept playing the abuse victim card, right? But she went to it, and it was coincidental and the writers just were like, oh, we'll make this line up, or she was a little more perceptive than we gave her credit for and was like, this woman knows that like domestic violence is like a soft spot for her. I'll be able to stay here if I play on that.
Well, you think like right away they say, no, this is like our grandma. And so, okay, you've obviously like lost your daughter for some reason. Right. And usually it's domestic violence or substance, unfortunately, in those situations.
Right.
But her ability to read that so quickly. And then she didn't just play the victim of like a helpless victim. She truly played the role of like a woman who has
battered,
been for a long time, right? Like she blames herself. Like she's like, no, it was my fault. Like I was doing this and he's a really good guy. Like the way that she's defending him, that was good. And then I wrote this down specifically because I had to go back and watch it. In that scene when she's like talking about when he threw her out of the car and she's like, that's why this is all so hard to believe. That I think is her really talking, because then she says, I can't believe he would leave me like that he would abandon me and do me like this. And the way she says it, the way her face just changes, her expression, I'm like, you're talking about Carrie. Like you are keeping it moving while you're also in these down moments like, holy moly, what just happened? Like still processing.
Yeah. And, like I'm struggling to identify how I feel about Lucky fully. Because right off the bat, she's fun. She's cool. The way she moves, like just in and out of situations, you're rooting for her right off the bat. But there's these things where like, all right, we've seen shows, movies in the past where you root for the quote unquote bad guy, the anti-villain, if you will. You know, maybe they're locked in, but what they do necessarily isn't great. I'll lean to Dexter as kind of a thought process. The beginning of that show, he's a serial killer, but he kills other bad guys. So you really like him. You're really leaning into it.
Right.
But by the end of it, they do enough bad things. They take advantage of enough people. Where like, it's hard for me to actually like you and root for you. I'm still rooting for you to survive and get through, but like, I don't like you doing it, kind of a thing. And I wonder what kind of evolution we're going to see Lucky go through as we find out more about the whole situation with Carrie, find a little bit more depth into the situation. Because I hope it's not this simple. This plot line has been done before. The person that's never supposed to trust anybody trusts that one person is naive and they get like, come on, her dad did not train her to trust your husband even after you're married, kind of a thing.
Right. Yeah. Like,
I don't know.
But if she's
I'm just
this
saying,
good,
like abandonment wounds, like does she have daddy issues? Is she looking for that man she can actually fully depend on?
she has that whole monologue kind of at the end, right? Like of episode 2 about control.
Yeah.
Right. And like,
Yeah.
and episode 2 ends with her jumping into the bed of Dutch's truck.
taking control of that situation.
She's always in more of control than I think you initially think. And I think that's kind of becoming, and I'm wondering, like, did Carrie know something we don't know, right? Like, yeah, Carrie ditched her, but did Carrie ditch her for a reason? Did Carrie know like something else was going on? Like, all right, here, we can't, like, I could sit here and just litigate this for 7 hours, but there's questions that do need to be answered. Number one, if we had to, and we can't answer them, but we can speculate wildly and irresponsibly. Where's Carrie? Favorite. Where is Carrie? Because he betrays Lucky, takes off with the money, and grabbed, like, we don't know where he is, but Priscilla's on the hunt now. And it seems like of everybody, she is the last person in this show you want looking for you.
Oh, yeah.
Because otherwise you get a bullet to the foot. Right? Like, you're just like existing.
He just wanted his Del Taco.
Right. He just wants Del Taco and you take a bullet right to the foot.
The scene prior to, they said Priscilla doesn't get her hands dirty. Bitch, that she does.
She does. So Priscilla's an interesting character because we see, I think, the one spot where I didn't like is when she tried to be like sexy and like seduce that guy.
I didn't like that either.
I thought that was weird. It seemed so out of character for someone who had been so strong to look so weak in like a random moment like that. But what is her end game? And I think right now, while Lucky is very intriguing, Pricilla to me is the most intriguing character 100%. On the show because it's like, is she truly just looking for her son? Like, is she truly just trying to protect her son?
Yeah. Is she trying to screw over her son?
Right, because she just got out of prison herself. So, like, she might have ulterior motives. Like, I mean, she's kind of got her hands in a lot of different things, and she seems to know, like, obviously it was her daughter-in-law, so maybe she knew her well, but, like, Lucky and John are not, like, ancillary characters to her. Like, this is, like, main character. My hands are in kind of everything.
Yeah.
And she's obviously very powerful where she has these, people working for her, and she has this whole criminal syndicate that the FBI is essentially like being like, I will find her and hunt her down.
And it's her pacing too. It's the way she talks and delivers these pauses that almost force you to understand that she's in control of this situation. I'm trying to do it there myself, but like I absolutely love that when they just slow it down. And like woman antagonists, I think they're at a disservice sometimes within how they're going to play that character. But there's just a way that they can do it, and it's so badass. It's so frightening to your core. Like, you look very prim and proper.
Borderline nurturing and put together, and it's also terrifying as hell.
Yeah,
I think that there's the highest ceiling for women antagonists in some of those situations, and like I saying that as a man, I guess I'm not sure quite how that lays out, but it's just I when you see them peak, they peak higher than I think men can in those roles, just because it scares the shit out of you.
Intimidation.
Yeah.
Sometimes in like the male characters, it's like it's in front of your face, right?
It's all
like
brute
strength,
force.
It's abuse.
Yeah.
It's the force. But I see what you're saying.
Like, she's good. I like her.
Yeah, I think the antagonists in the show are really good because I would count John as one. Obviously, Pricilla is an antagonist, and Dutch is a very fun antagonist as well.
I really enjoy, like when you said earlier, the writing and then the directing. I enjoy the scenes where we are reminded that Lucky is running away from both the Dutch and Pricilla and Whitaker and whoever and the FBI, right? Because when he's at a diner looking on his iPad, and that's when he spots like the house, or he's looking at maps. But then also next scene is FBI agent. She's got her binoculars and she spots the house. So I was kind of waiting for him to like show up in that scene or be driving by. And I mean, he quickly follows coming after that.
So
but I appreciated the back and forth that way.
So that's another question I have is, are we really done with that family? Because Dutch knows that house is something of interest, right? Now, she is in the truck, so maybe he moved on because she was at the gas station. She stole the truck. He chased after her, so maybe he leaves them alone. But maybe not. And do they become collateral damage in the end? You know what I mean? And
I hope not.
Does Lucky have to kind of reckon with that as well? But I really enjoyed, first off, I've never seen this happen in movies or TV, and I haven't enjoyed it, is when the villain gets into a car and casually pulls out of a place that the police are rushing to and drives right past them. I've never had it happen and not enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it every time. It's like, if we were doing an episode of like our big movie breakdowns, this would be the People's Elbow Award of something that shouldn't work, but it does for me.
Yeah.
A small town too. You know, there's like 2 cars in the whole town that actually work, and you're just gonna let the one you see. It's infuriating.
That was a little bit of like, this is a cool shot, so let's not ruin it kind of moment, because like, it is the desert, and it's not like there's like 17 gas stations. So this car coming down the road,
they were either a witness to what just happened, because also the cashier called 911. Right. So were the cops coming because they knew the truck was there, or because gunshots and there was, whatever
Dutch
going
is cool.
on there?
Like, Dutch got lit on fire and didn't seem to flinch much.
Chill.
He picked up the fire extinguisher instead of like freaking out, kicking off the pants or throwing water. No, I'm gonna casually. I'm gonna pull the plug out here. Like, I thought it was smooth as hell.
Yeah, love Dutch. I'm really enjoying Dutch a lot, and like they added that mystique to him. With that, like, you don't want, like, if you do not get caught by Dutch, he's someone you do not want finding you. Like, he's dangerous.
And as much as I'm kind of pulling apart some of the writing in some of these areas, I do want to give them their flowers in the sense of the amount of times we see shows, movies like this where, the hero's getting away and all of a sudden the person chasing him just shows up there. Instead of doing that, they did give us small little scenes of showing how they come across. Like seeing Dutch zoom out the area and like looking, oh, wow, here's the closest house. Yeah. Just like they kind of walk you through some of this rather than it just looking like blind luck that all of a sudden they're finding this hideout, the needle in the haystack, if you will. I appreciated that they kind of gave us a little bit more thought and like, all right, Dutch is a clever guy. He's done this for a while. He knows what he's doing, kind of a thing.
Yeah. Before we continue on, I just want to once again ask anyone who's enjoying this video, please like, subscribe, and share to the whole channel. These episodes, we will be breaking down Lucky for you every Thursday that it's on. And then after that, we are breaking down Lanterns coming in August. But we also break down movies for you. Coming up, we do have The Odyssey and Heartstopper Forever dropping on Friday and Saturday, I believe, are reviews of those 2 movies. So I'm very excited. So please, please, please like, subscribe, and share to the whole channel and get more of your favorite shows and movies broken down for you. All right. So what's John's endgame?
I want to know, before like giving that answer, how did he and Pricilla get into jail? Was this something they did together and it went bad? Because she didn't rat anyone out. So they said, right? So I'm like, why did she get out of jail, and why did Whitaker not get him out? And then I'm thinking, if I was Pricilla, right, and I've got this partner or someone, obviously there's a romantic somewhat relationship, or maybe just sexual tension relationship between them. But I don't think I would want my kid marrying their kid. Like, that
not
sounds
if I was sleeping
like,
with them.
Romeo Juliet-esque.
Also, just like when it goes bad, right? You have to prepare for it to go bad.
Yeah,
and
criminals
connection.
being together is one thing, but
let's not merge the family trees.
Criminal children probably shouldn't be merging those families. Like, that just feels like a recipe for disaster.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like, I wonder if he's going to be in jail the whole time.
That's what I'm curious about.
It leaves him in a role where he has no control, right? Like that phrase about like being in control. You're not, sir.
The fact that he would set up a last job makes me feel like he's getting out soon and he wants to make sure he's got something when he comes out to be a part of. Because why else would he set her up for a last job if he's going to be in there for a significantly longer time?
Says something weird,
Pricilla got
set
out.
that up. Yes. But he says something weird when he gives her that job. He says, I need you to move one last thing. Not take it, move it. That money was supposed to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
And I know
Where?
Priscilla's crime was money laundering, right? That's her big thing. She was laundering money because she was arguing with Whitaker that it was too much money coming in and she couldn't keep up with the demand. And she had warned him that she couldn't get that done. So
there's so much money. We don't know where to store it.
Right. Because what did she say? Something like $500 million was coming through.
Yeah, they just
crazy.
So did John work for Pricilla and know that there was money that couldn't be accounted for and send Lucky to go get it? But why would you send Lucky to go get it when you know that Priscilla's son is married to Lucky? Like, there's a lot of strings that are being pulled that I need answers to.
It almost gives
why
me
doesn't Carrie talk to his mom? Because that's something that John throws in her face. Like, your kid doesn't even talk to you when she goes to visit him.
Do you think it's possible that Carrie is going to be revealed to have like an almost altruistic motive of being like, I just wanted to get out of this life and I saw the opportunity and I took it? Because Lucky's never getting out. Lucky can't get out. We know by her personality, she's just not that person. She is a criminal. She's too good at what she does to ever get out, right? Like, it's one of those situations that, like, it's not a trope that we've explored enough, but it's one that I really enjoy when the criminal is just too good at what they do. And there's no way out because it always pulls them back. John will pull her back. Her desire for that thrill will pull her back. Did Carrie just want to get out?
Okay, go ahead, Brian.
I was going to say, what's the chance that John's behind something bigger here? Like, is there a chance that he's actually double-crossing Lucky in a way?
I think so.
Like, he set Lucky and Carrie up.
I don't think you cast an actor as big as Timothy Oliphant.
Sit him in jail.
Unless there's, like, a big twist coming where he winds up being the big bad in the end here.
Or what? Okay, I never thought of this, so these are just raw thoughts, but what if he's, like, trying to set up Carrie? Like, something to, like, backfire and it be on him so that Lucky... Because technically right now, her hands are somewhat clean.
Well, she keeps saying, and, like... Because Priscilla's not believing her, but she's starting to a little bit where she's like, I don't know where Carrie is.
Okay, can I ask a question on that? Because I'm like, I need to know. I think this is foreshadowing. She finds the address. She goes to that guy's house. His name is Noah. Who is Noah? Because she says, I'm looking for my kid, Carrie. When you say Carrie, I'm thinking a girl. And he used the he pronoun first. Like Noah was like, I don't know who Carrie is. And he used a male pronoun. So that makes me think that Noah is someone. And as of right now, he got shot in the foot and kidnapped. I think he's in a trunk of a car somewhere.
Right. So what does he know?
And who is he?
Right. Is he like a buddy?
Is he a piece of it? Yeah. I feel like there's more to him.
Yeah, he's a bad liar. I'll tell you that much. Because like the second he was like, oh, sorry, lady, I don't know anything about your kid. It was like, yeah, you do. Like, I'm coming in as well. I have a question for you two because you're married.
Oh, boy.
If you guys were to do a heist where you walk away with $10 million, which one of you do you think would be more likely to betray the other one and take off with the money?
Ooh, why are you pointing at me?
You'd run off with your man Clarence.
Oh my gosh. Come on. That's just when I'm shopping. My man Clarence, he gets me on all the sales. The Clarence rack.
Love that.
I don't know. I think that I would be the one more likely to somehow try to sneak more into my bank account so I can spend more money on things I want.
Actually, maybe it would be me. Because I bet we'd get like 3/4 of the way through and Alyssa's like, oh my gosh, the guilt would start eating her away. She's like, maybe we should take it back. So then I'd take the money, hide the money until she gets over that. Yeah.
Abandon me.
Even if you stole it from a criminal? Even if you stole it from a criminal, you'd feel bad?
Her morals are jacked up sometimes. Sometimes they're too righteous. Ugh.
No, it's I saw the Truman Show way too young. And that's how I live my life, is that someone's always watching. And so it just, I don't know.
How I feel about The
think
Exorcist.
very different reactions or like what that causes us to do in life.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think, Brian, I think you're right on that. I would somehow crack, or I would get the heat. And here's what I can tell you. If we were pulled into interrogation and separated, that man is not going to crack. I know that. A cop could throw at me like he's given us all this dirt on you, and I know that would be a lie.
Right.
I wish I could say the same for Brian, but I crack under peer pressure sometimes. So I don't know what would happen.
I would be the worst. Like with me and my boyfriend, I like to think I have control in my relationship, and I don't, because all he has to do is like pout at me, even playfully, and it just like shatters me into a million pieces. I'm like, whatever you want, I got, like, you got it. So if he really wants, like, he doesn't abuse it, thankfully, but like when he, like, he'll kind of just go, this is like the thing that, because we're both trying to eat healthy, stay in shape, because it's healthy, good for our hearts and all that stuff. But he'll go,
getting old.
I want something sweet.
Oh.
And I'm like, I'll just go to McDonald's. I don't care what time it is. I'll get us McFlurries. I'll go to CVS and get us like Ben and Jerry's, like whatever. Like, and so I'm totally powerless. But I wanted to throw a little monkey wrench and see if it would, create some good television here. Yeah. So I don't have a ton of answers. We don't have a ton of answers yet. But episode 1 and 2, so far, so good.
Very good. I'm wondering if every episode, and I'm kind of hoping it's not like this, is going to be her like escaping someone. Like, is every episode going to be the last scene is her getting out of the situation with some cool closing song? Because it kind of like follows too much of a formula. Like, I hope that it just shapes
I
up
think we might be moving in a different direction, because at the end of episode 1, she was getting out of something. At the end of episode 2, she made a conscious decision to like
get back
go somewhere.
This is true.
That's where
She's now looking. I think the big mystery is like, where's Carrie, right? So everyone wants that same answer. Yeah. Whitaker wants it. Pricilla wants it. Dutch wants it. Lucky wants it. John wants it. Everyone needs to know, where's Carrie? Because where's the 10 million?
I think that's where we have the tenure of Apple Plus and some of their TV shows. We can trust that, like, that's the USA, the formula that USA rocks in their show. They're doing the same thing every single episode. We're getting what, whether it be an escape, a bank robbery, some sort of filing issue at the law firm. It's the same thing every episode. This, I would trust that we're going to evolve the storyline a little bit, get a little bit more from this, and we have a lot of questions to be answered. This is a mini series. What do we get? 8 episodes, I think. So like we're a quarter of the way through it. We got 6 episodes to dive. She's got to fall and then come back up. So I'm really excited to see how quickly this pacing continues over the next couple episodes.
Yeah, me too. I am absolutely psyched for this. I am just like, I don't know, like, and you know what? I mean, Apple has earned my trust just forever. But yeah, although, you know what I do have to say about Apple is they don't know when to end shows. Like
officially, like series ending.
Like I don't think Ted Lasso needed a season 4. Happy to watch it. Don't think it needed it. I thought it ended so nicely. And then Shrinking is weirdly getting a season 4.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And I'm like,
I have not finished that one.
Honestly, at this point, Severance, do we just need to end it? Like, it was great. It was groundbreaking that first season, but like I found myself like I wasn't into season 2. Just like I had to wait so freaking long.
Well, a storyline cannot live at the peak, right? It can't live at the climax.
Right.
Like, there has to be a drop.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking, like, I'm not concerned about that drop with Lucky. I think that's going to be interesting because, there's like the scene where Pricilla goes to visit John, and then the beginning of episode 2, like we only get a couple minutes where we see them actually steal the money, but there's so much information that's revealed in that little bit that I think that's going to be the bottom.
I think there's only 7 episodes of this.
That's even worse. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, it says Anya Taylor-Joy's in 7 episodes of the show. So yeah,
I think we only get 7 episodes. So like, I think you can keep up like that breakneck, like kind of like what's happening for 7 episodes. You can kind of get away with that. Now, if it's USA,
Yeah.
right? Like if it's 20 episodes, you can't just rev the
Right.
engine that long. You'll blow the engine. But I think with this, you definitely can. Before
7 episodes.
Before we
Yikes.
sign off, do you guys have any other final thoughts or theories you want to float out there on Lucky episodes 1 and 2?
How would y'all grade the first 2 episodes, 1 to 10,
8.5.
for both?
Cumulatively, yeah. I think episode 1 was a bit better than episode 2, only because I thought it just moved at a higher pace. I thought episode 2 did slow down a little bit, had cooler moments, but I think overall, like that weaving through Vegas, that like casino was really cool. Watching all of that come together and getting to know Lucky, and then it did that flash forward, flash back kind of style of storytelling that I like. So I liked it.
I think I would give it about the same, like 8.5. I like both the episodes equally. I will say episode 1, when she dyes her hair blonde, I'm like, oh snap. When the character
Also,
changes
looks
their
fierce.
hair, it looks so good. After you
looks so
see her
good,
in
yeah.
the blonde bob, I'm like, don't ever change. Like, you are so mysterious and beautiful and badass. Like, it's so good. But yeah, I'd say about 8.
I think I do 7.5 for the first one, 8.5 for the second one. I really like 2. 1 had some really cool scenes in it.
I think the best scene so far is when Billy, the FBI agent, explains to the grandmother who Lucky actually is, and the grandmother like whispers, she's like, she's in the bedroom. And now you realize like she knows that there's a criminal in the room with her granddaughters.
Like, they could be dead for all you know.
Yes, but then, all right, so Lucky, this just made me think of this. Lucky, I do question her morals, but then the bunny is in the fucking truck and she can't look at it. She has to turn it away.
She pinky promised. She should feel like shit. If those girls don't come back in the show, she should feel like shit. She pinky promised.
She immediately went to the pinky promise. That did make me dislike her. Like,
Yeah,
the fact she can
that's not where you
so
start. Yeah, you can't start
easily lie, right?
Yeah, no.
That's where I worry how we're going to feel about her at the end. But show prediction, I'm going to lean on Timothy. I think the dad's got some screwy... I think we're going to dislike him more than we like him by the end of the show.
Yeah. All right, final question, and then we're going to sign off here. Of Lucky, Pricilla, Billy, or John, who gets killed off this show first? Who doesn't make it to the ending?
Pricilla.
Storyline Pricilla makes the most sense, but I was going to go with Agent Billy.
I think I'm going to go with Billy on this one.
Oh.
I think I'm going to go with Billy, but we'll have to see. I think if it's Pricilla, it'll be from Whitaker. I think if Whitaker kills someone, it'll be Pricilla. If Lucky kills someone, it's going to be Dutch. Dutch is the first one to go, I think, of all of them. But I didn't give him. That's why I didn't give him as an option.
I could see Dutch continuing with whoever the new boss is after Pricilla. If
I think you kill Dutch to make Pricilla have to like step up her game and get more dangerous and move from there.
Okay, I like that.
That's how I would do it as a writer, at least. Like, I would kill the henchman that's supposed to get his hands dirty so that the boss has to get their hands dirty.
Dang.
But
I just want to say this one thing so it's on record, and it could be wrong and then we never have to go back to it, but I feel like some of the things you guys said tonight I had not thought of, just like John and Carrie. I predict that Carrie kills Pricilla, that he's trying to get he and Lucky out. Like, I think you guys are right that he didn't just abandon her. I think there's something going on.
Okay.
Maybe it's he and John.
Could they possibly be like, this was like the plan all along, that he disappears and she's like, I'll find you. Like, don't worry about it. Like, they'll chase me and you can get away.
Like, she's strong enough not to break, right? Like, she can function on her own. So
do you think it's possible that she's like, listen, you'll slow me down, but if you disappear, they'll come for me. And then we'll like oh my God.
Y'all are going down the rabbit hole.
I'm firmly down it, but that's what we're here to do. And we're here to do it for you every Thursday that there is an episode of Lucky to break down. Please, again, like, subscribe, share to the whole on the whole channel. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss anything like this, or our review of The Odyssey, or our review of Heartstopper Forever, or our upcoming breakdowns of shows such as Lanterns. We are discussing Dark Matter, Crystal Lake, Nocturne, and Monster. So many shows. Too much, if I do say so myself. But for myself, for the Heart Foundation, Brian and Alyssa, that's a wrap. See you later, guys.